Hello, I'm the Pink Phantom, and this is my podcast. Join me as I delve into the world of games and gaming, and especially old school RPGs. Together, let's voyage into the astral realm and check out my phantom thoughts. So, in this episode, we're going to have more of the humanoids wandering around my solo campaign world. A little more world building here. But first, I want to talk about world building and campaigns in general in the RPG setting. And when this comes up on various social media or forums, you usually see two different sort of philosophies approaching how you build your RPG world. One being essentially from the ground up, and the other being from, the 40,000 foot view down. And for the first one, which is advocated among other places in the book Muster that I read some time ago and went over through various episodes of the podcast. And in that, they advocated having a town and a dungeon near the town, and that's where you start, and that's how you build. And then everything else will build out from there. The events in the dungeon, the creatures that get populated through the random encounters, those and how they interact and how they would seem to define what's in the game world will define how the game world develops. So essentially the world develops not necessarily in direct reaction to what the PCs do, but as a result of what the PCs do, more and more about the world is revealed. This also works, maybe even more so, if you start off with some sort of a hex crawl. Although depending on the system, hex crawls can be even more deadly than the dungeon environment because of, in some of these old school games, you encounter a lot more of a type of creature in the wilderness than you do simply in a dungeon setting. And in a lot of ways, this is what's been going on in my own solo play, where I started with a group of PCs with a dead dragon at its lair, and a little bit of, not even backstory, but just the encountering the dragon adventure had established a couple of spots, and that was it. And everything worked from there, and the encounters they had from there, and how I believe logically it developed that those things work together, where those pieces of the puzzle fit, is how the game world has developed. Or a little more esoterically, what kind of background would the PCs have had to have rolling dice, or deciding logically how they fit in depending on what their class is, and things of that nature. How that affects what must be in the world and what resources are there for them to draw on or to be working against them. And this is a style that is very low prep, but it also requires the ability to adapt on the fly, and especially if you were playing with other people at the table, you would have to be able to adapt very quickly. There'd be a lot of improv involved because you would be making decisions basically under the clock, which obviously in the solo campaign, I have the advantage of having as much time as I need because there's nobody rushing me. I'm the only one playing. The flip side of that, starting with a top-down world where you establish maybe what the gods are, what the planes are, and certainly what the nations, at least in a large area, are. What kind of powers and factions and groups of creatures do you have around? What are their plans? What are their machinations? What are their goals? Those types of things. That requires obviously a lot more setup, a lot more work before starting a campaign. But the flip side of that is you already have a lot of answers at your fingertips. You're not making things up on the spot and having to both remember them and make them fit, or have them, at least have some kind of stream of consciousness connection so that it makes sense within the game world. As much as anything can in a fantasy realm with, dragons and unicorns and zombies. So it's a lot of prep, at least up front, and probably a little more prep between sessions as you take what happened in the session and adjudicate how does that affect what's happening in the world. But it does seem like that would make sessions flow more clearly because you already have the answers and you're not having to create the answers as you go. And of course, you can have sort of a lower prep level, if you will, if if you buy a a prepackaged world or realm or kingdom or section of the world that's already established and already has the relationships of the different races and the different nations and things like that, then you just have to kind of internalize them or organize them in a way that you can easily access that information. And it would have the same result basically as if you created it yourself. You've already got this vast encyclopedia of what the world is, and now you just have to apply that to the game setting as it goes on. The other end of that being the sort of the no prep section of the hobby, where they just start with, they find a group of random charts to roll on and start from there. Or you'll see, especially in some of the war game channels and areas where they utilize, a map and they draw cards or they drop dice or a combination of the two to establish what the types of terrain are and what the general locations of cities and towns and castles and general populations are. But even that isn't really no prep, because some of that, again, you have to do ahead of time. But there's also genuine no prep, where they just, all they're doing ahead of time is picking a group of tables they like and having those available to roll on. So that's really something I guess I've read more of recently, and it's always an interesting juxtaposition between those who believe in a lot of preparation and those who believe in no preparation, those who believe that there's a certain amount of preparation you have to have, like, if you're on a map, you need to establish at least the general terrain because you're going to see mountains from a far distance. Or they're looking for some kind of geographical logic to it where you don't have, an ocean and the associated wetlands and swamps, and then right next to that you've got desert where there's just nothing but sand. So concluding this little ramble, what are your favorite methods for generating a campaign, or what campaigns have you enjoyed that you know now that maybe you didn't know when you started, how those worlds were created, and what was your experience with, if you've experienced these two kind of desperate styles from the ground up or from the top down, what have you seen to be effective, not effective, or have they just been effective in different ways? So that's all I really have on that. So let's get back to what the humanoids are up to. And now, more from my solo AD&D RPG campaign, Tales of the Dragon Slayers. So we're back on day 116. We're doing the battle between the trolls that have been wandering around and the Veerbigs and their hill giant and wolf companions, guards, what have you. Before we kick it off, a couple quick things. As far as what other Veerbigs and hill giants respond from inside the lair, I'm just going to roll a couple of dice each turn, each round, just at the beginning of the round to see who responds. Right now, there's 9 Veerbigs and 4 hill giants inside, so I'll probably just roll a D10 and D4 this time, and then kind of reduce the dice size as they go on. I may roll a D8 for the Veerbigs instead of the D10. The other thing is the wolves and the trolls are obviously going to be using their natural weapons. The hill giants, I'm going to have them use giant clubs. They're going to do the same damage either way. And the Veerbigs, they didn't roll up anything in their treasure that they could use weapon-wise. It says that they normally use spears and clubs, but if they run across better weapons, they will use them. I think when they moved back into the area after the dragon left, they probably would have run across some caches of weapons in the wilderness where troops had been destroyed by the dragon or had fled from the dragon and tossed down their weapons. So I'm going to roll 3 times on the overall weapon chart in Unearthed Arcana to see what types of weapons would be available to them, and go with that. Just go with that, and see if any of those are better than just a club or spear. So first roll here. Let's see, that's 37. So 37 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That would be an all pike. Is that? Yep, that's 37. An all pike. So that's a pretty good weapon. So potentially a pike. And they could probably wield those one-handed, so it wouldn't matter if they're extra armor, whatever it is that we haven't detailed, but we know they have. It includes a shield. All right. Next roll is a 60. That'll put us down almost all the way to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Be long swords. So long swords. And then the last one would be 53. That would be quarterstaffs. So of those three, I would say all pike would be better. Because all pike, well, all pike or longsword. Because all pike does less damage to the small, medium, but more to the large. The longsword does more to the small and medium, but less to the large. So let's dice for it as we do. So 1 to 3 longsword and 4 to 6 all pike. And we have a 4. So it's going to be all pikes. So they will be fighting all pikes. And all these creatures are large except for the wolves. The wolves are small. The only thing that's really going to matter for, I think, is, well, let's see here. The hill giants do the same damage regardless. The Veerbig, that's who will matter for. The all pikes, they'll be doing 1 to 12 damage since the trolls are large creatures. All right, so let's get down to it. We know the trolls won the initiative. We know that they have the speed to get to the Veerbigs and hill giants to start off with. So we're just going to go have them charge, and we'll go from there. All right, so troll number 1, he's attacking a Veerbig. Against the Veerbig, the trolls need a 10 to hit. Against the giants, they need a 9. And if they're attacking any wolves, they need a 6. The hill giants, the Veerbigs need a 11 to hit. The giants, an 8. And the wolves need a 12. Which seems odd. You would think that wolves are 2+2 hit dice, Veerbigs are 5+5, but there's only one difference between what they need. All right, so troll attacking Veerbig. Here we go. Claw, 18, that's a hit. Claw, 3, that's a miss. Bite, 9, that's a miss, just barely. So slashes him with a claw. That's going to be 5 to 8 points of damage. So a d4 plus 4. That's going to be 5 points. So 5 points on the Veerbig. All right, versus the giant. A 19, an 11, and a 15. So all of those are hits against the giant. So claw, 5 to 8. That's a 2, so that's going to be 6. That's a 1 for the other claw, so that's going to be 5. So that's 11 total. And then 2 to 12 for the bite. So a 5 and an 11 and a 6. So an 11 more, so that's 22 hit points against that first giant. So he is way down. And now finally against the second giant, we do claw 7 miss, claw 8 miss, bite 12 hit. So that's going to be 4 plus 2 is 6. Okay, and I just realized that the trolls were charging, so they would have gotten +2 to their attack. So the bite against the Veerbig would have hit, and the 2 claws against the second giant would have hit. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So the bite against the Veerbig, we got 2 and 6. So a total of 8 points of damage added to the damage already done. Now the other giant, claw 1, 3 plus 4 is 7. Second claw, 3 plus 4 is 7. So that's 14 more points off of that giant. So now the Veerbig force goes back. So the Veerbig needs a 9, no, a 10 to hit. 10 to hit. And they get a 13. Well, no, needs an 11, but 13 is still a hit. So a hit either way. And the pike does 1 to 12 points of damage. So, ooh, and got the full 12. All right, the first giant. The giant only needs an 8 to hit. Oop, that's my D12. That's not my D20. He gets a 15. And so he's doing 2 to 16. So 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 points of damage. And then finally, the second giant. Well, that's not finally. Second giant has a 6 and misses. And now the wolves swarm around. So we're going to roll at random to see who the wolves attack. Let's see. First wolf, second wolf. Those two wolves are attacking the same. Third wolf attacking the same. Fourth wolf attacking the same. Fifth wolf is attacking a different one. So 4 of the wolves are attacking the one that the Veerbig is attacking. Oh, and they all get the Troll's armor class is 1 less for this turn because they charged. But that would not have helped that other giant hit. So I think 2 of these wolves will be attacking the Troll from behind. That will be a +2 for those 2 that are attacking from the rear. All right, so normally the wolves need a 12 to hit. They'll need an 11 because of the charge, and the wolves on the back will only need a 9. So wolf 1 attacking from the front, looking for an 11, gets a 19. Second wolf from the front gets a 3. That's a miss. Wolf from behind, that's a 6. That's a miss. Second wolf from behind, that's a 7. Even with a +2, that was a miss. So 4 wolves attacking, 2 from behind. The troll had charged and only get 1 hit. So that's 2d4 damage rolled for that one wolf that hit. And that's going to be 3 points of damage to that troll. All right. And then the other wolf attacked the troll that did not get hit by the giant and rolls a 9 and needs an 11. So that's a miss. So that's the end of round 1. So round 2, the Veerbig force rolls a 5. The trolls roll a 1. So let's see what kind of reinforcements come out of the Veerbig encampment, cave, whatever it is. I think they take place in caves. I'll have to look. They're coming out. So they won't be able to attack this turn, but they'll be out. So how many Veerbigs of the 9 remaining will come out? We'll roll a d8. They get a 2. So 2 more come out. And then the giants, there's 4 left. Let's roll to see how many of them come out. All 4 come out. So 4 giants come out and 2 Veerbigs. And they will get to attack next turn. So the attack. The Veerbig, they no longer get the +1. The trolls are now back up to the regular armor class because they didn't charge this turn. So the Veerbig needing an 11 rolls a 4. The giants needing an 8 roll a 4 and a 12. So that's 1 hit on the troll that has yet been untouched. It's going to be 2 to 16. That's 5. 7 is 12. So that's 12 points of damage to that troll. All right, now the wolves. First, the 2 wolves attacking from the front. A 7, that's a miss. An 18, that's a hit. Then from the rear, a 2, that's a miss. A 5, that's a miss. So that'll be 2 to 5 points of damage. That rolls a 3, so that's 4 points of damage. And now the trolls will attack. The troll. So we're going to say that the trolls who are beset by the wolves, they'll use 1 claw attack to go after the wolves, and then use their they will use their claw attacks on wolves or a wolf, and then they'll attack with their bite of their main opponent. So first, the troll that's beset by wolves attacking 1 wolf with a claw attack. 14, that's a hit. Only needs a 6 to hit a wolf. And the second, another claw attack on another wolf. 18, that's a hit. So that does 5 to 8 points of damage. 2 plus 4 is 6. That kills a wolf. 3 plus 4 is 7. That kills a wolf. So 2 of those wolves are dead. That just leaves the wolves behind them. And then the Veerbig, now he's attacking the Veerbig with his bite. And that's a 19. And that is 2 to 12 points of damage. That's a 5. And that's a 4. And that's 9 on the Veerbig. All right. So second troll, a giant with no wolves. So all these attacks will be on the giant. The bite is a 5. Claw 17. Claw 11. The 2 claw attacks hit. 4 plus 5 is 9. 2 plus 5 is 7. 9 and 7 is 16. So that giant is dead. That is a dead giant. And then finally, the troll that's being attacked by one wolf and a Veerbig. Claw attack against the wolf. That is a 2. That is a miss. Claw attack against the Veerbig. That is a 3. That is a miss. Bite attack. The giant. And then the bite is a 12. So that is a hit. So that's 2 to 6 to that giant. That is a 6. And that is a 6. And that kills that giant. So the 2 initial giants are dead. All right, third round. The Veerbig force rolls a 2 initiative. The trolls roll a 6 initiative. So the trolls will go first. So the troll that's attacked by wolves and the Veerbig, he'll try to bite the Veerbig again. And with a 10, he just does. And then he's going to kind of reposition so those wolves aren't behind him anymore. 17 on one wolf, 19 on the other wolf. So for the Veerbig damage, 2d6, 2 and 3, that's 5 more points on the Veerbig. And then on the wolves, 1d4 plus 4, 2 plus 4 is 6, that's a dead wolf. 2 plus 4 is 6, that's a dead wolf. So that's 2 more wolves killed. All right, the other 2 trolls, one has a wolf, the other is being, some of the other creatures will be engaging with him. So he'll strike at the wolf with a claw. That's a 12, that's a hit. 3 plus 4 is 7, so that wolf is dead. So that's the last of the wolves. And then, let's see, are they, since they're right at the lair, he should be close enough to attack another target. So we're going to roll a d6 to see which target he attacks. On a 1 or a 2, it'll be one of the Veerbigs, and on anything else, it'll be one of the giants. 4, he's engaging a giant. Just killed a giant, so that makes sense. So, against the giant, claw, 6, that's a miss. Bite, 19, that's a hit. 4, and 4 is 8. That's 8 points of damage onto that giant. All right, the second troll, let's see who he engages with out of this group that just came out. He takes on another Veerbig. So rolling with claw, 11, that's a hit. Claw, 4, that's a miss. Bite, 12, that's a hit. So the claw is going to be 2 plus 4 is 6. And the bite, 6 and 2 is 8. So 8 and 6, that's 14 points of damage to that Veerbig that has just come out and gotten into this combat. All right, we need to see what the strength bonuses are going to be for these Veerbigs that came out. Oh, I just realized I didn't give an account to the extra 5 damage for strength for the other Veerbig, so we'll mark that off for that troll. I don't know if his +2 to attack would have done any difference in the first round, but oh well. I'm not going to go back and look at it right now. So, all right, so first we need to see if one of these is the leader. So there's going to be a 1 in 8 chance that one of these is the leader. So 1 on 1. All right, so we rolled a 2 and a 5. So neither one of those is the leader yet. So let's roll and see what their strength is going to be. And with a roll of an 8, that's a 18, 91 to 99 strength. And with a 9, same thing. So very high strength. That's going to be the same +2 +5 bonus as the previous one. So these are very strong Veerbigs here. All right, so these guys start ponying up. So first, let's say the Veerbig that was attacked by a troll will be attacking a 3, even plus the 2. That's not good enough. The second Veerbig will come up, and we'll say they came out together, so they'll attack the same troll. And with an 11, that is a hit. So a D12, and then +5 for strength. So 3 + 5 is 8 points of damage to that troll. So now the hill giants, obviously the hill giant that was attacked is going to attack that troll. And a 13 is a hit, so that's going to be 5, and 5 is 10 points of damage for that to that troll. And so now we go to the next giants. Let's see who they attack. We'll say the first giant up is also with the buddy that got attacked. So we'll say he's attacking that same troll. 19, that's a hit. So that's going to be 4 and 2. That's 6 more points of damage on that troll. And then these other 2 giants, let's see who they engage. That's going to be the one that attacked the second Veerbig, and that's going to be the one that attacked the second Veerbig. So here we go with the attacks. It's a 2, that's a miss. A 20, that is a hit. So we'll do 8 + 1 is 9 points of damage to that troll. So now on to round 4. The trolls, a 6. Veerbig, a 5. Veerbig force, I guess I should say. All right, so, and since that was the end of the third round, these trolls are all going to regenerate 3 points. Actually, one of the trolls didn't take damage that first round, so he will not regenerate any. All right, we got the regeneration done. All right, the first troll is still, let's see here, he's still mano a mano with that first Veerbig. So, Claw 10, that is a hit. Claw 2, that is not a hit. Bite 18, that is a hit. So the claw, 2 + 4 is 6. And the bite, a 6 and a 1, that's 7. That's a total of 13. And the first Veerbig is down. So we have 1 dead Veerbig. The second troll, he is confronted by 2 giants. So we're going to claw bite the one that he was initially attacking and then claw the other one. So claw, 7, that is a miss. Bite, 20, that is a hit. Claw, 17, that is a hit on the second giant. All right, so the bite, 6 and 5 is 11 points of damage to that giant. And then the claw, 1 + 4 is 5 points to that giant. All right, the third troll is confronted by 2 giants and 2 Veerbigs. He was attacking a Veerbig, so we're going to have him bite the Veerbig he was attacking and then claw the giants. So, Veerbig, the bite against the Veerbig is an 11, so that's a hit. Against the giant, 4, that's a miss. Against the other giant, a 14, that's a hit. So, damage from the bite, 3 and 2 is 5. And then the damage from the one claw, 4 plus 4 is 8. So 8 points of damage to that giant. All right. So there can't be any more reinforcements coming out this turn for heal. As far as giants, there are still 7 of the Veerbigs left in. So I'm going to roll a d8. If I roll an 8, none come out. We get a 5. So 5 more Veerbigs come piling out. So are any of these Veerbigs that came out the leader? No. 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 All right, so that's a total of 8 Veerbigs. So the next Veerbig that comes out has to be the leader, the last Veerbig. So let's roll for their strength. Get a d10 out here. We got a 51 to 75, 1851 to 75, 1876 to 90, 1876 to 90, 1891 to 99, 1876 to 90. So they are all +2 to attack, and then they are +3 or +4 or +5 for damage. So let's start off with the 2 giants that are facing off against one of the trolls. 4 is a miss, and 11, that is a hit. So they're going to do 8 plus 3 is 11 points of damage. All right, then there's one troll that's engaged with 2 giants and 2 Veerbigs. So giant number 1 and 8, that is a hit. Giant number 2 and 8, that is a hit. Veerbig 15, that's a hit. Veerbig 1, that's a miss. So the first giant does 3 points of damage. The second giant does 8 points of damage. That's a total of 11 points of damage. And then the Veerbig does 5 points of damage plus a d12. That's 5 more. So that troll is down. So the 5 Veerbigs that came out, there's 1 troll with no one opposing them, and 1 troll with 2 giants. So we're going to say, let's see how they do here. That we've got 1. Let's see, we'll do the unoccupied, the unoccupied, the unoccupied, the unoccupied, and the unoccupied. So they all go after the one that's not engaged. At least one of them will be on behind them. So let's see, 1, that's a 3, that's a miss. It's 12, that's a hit. It's a 2, that's a miss. That's a 16, that's a hit. And then the one from behind, that's a 1, that's a miss, even though it's from behind. All right, so 3 hits. A roll of 7 plus 3, that's 10. A roll of 4 plus 4, that's 8, that's 18. A roll of 4 plus 4, that's 26 points of damage to that troll. So that troll is also down. So now we're going to go to the next round. The trolls roll a 5. The very big team rolls a 6. And one of the trolls, well, no, still unconscious, but got back up to 0 hit points here. The other troll is still down as well with negative hit points. And that will bring us to another round of attacks. So the Veerbig that's still on its feet is the one that was opposed by the 2 giants. So they're going to attack first. An 18 and a 13, those are both hits. That's going to be 4 plus 2 is 6. 2 plus 6 is 8. That's going to be a total of 12 points of damage. And then, let's see, a couple of the Veerbigs wander over. That's a 3. Another one that's 12, that's a hit. Another one that's 17, that's a hit. And a 15, that's a hit. And their bonuses alone are going to put that troll down. So at this point, all the trolls are down. So do Veerbigs know enough to know that trolls need to be set on fire to be killed permanently, or dropped in acid, or dissolved in acid? So Veerbigs are average to very intelligent, which is average is 8 to 10, very is 11 to 12. So we're going to say that the leader probably for sure is very intelligent. So let's see how intelligent that leader is. And that's going to be an 11. Let's check the other Veerbigs just to see. That's an 11. That's a 12. An 8 and a 9. Another 10. And 11. So 11s and 12s. So I'm going to do a couple of rolls of a d20 to see if one of these Veerbigs knows. If we get under an 11, we'll say that they know. I rolled a 6. So yes, they know. So they set the trolls on fire. And that is the end of the wanderings of the trolls. And that will finally conclude day 116. So we'll pick up next time on the next day. At this point, we'll only have the orc leaders trying to get home, and they should be able to get home on the next day. And then the Iron Bashers attempting to find the rest of their tribe. And then that is it. So until then, watch out for wandering humanoids. The opening music of this podcast is Strength of the Titans, and the closing music is Late Night Radio, both by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. Thank you for listening to Phantom Thoughts. I would love to hear your feedback. You don't have to be part of the show. If you want to contact me and let me know, hey, these are for your eyes only. I just wanted to give you thoughts, ideas, response, and it's really for your eyes or ears only. That's absolutely fine. I'd love to hear from you either way. So just let me know when you contact me. Just, I don't want to be part of the show. There are lots of different ways you can contact me. You can send me an email at phantomthoughtspodcast@gmail.com. And that can be a regular email, or you can attach an audio file to it. You can use the message button on my podcast site on podcasters.spotify.com/pod/show/phantom thoughts. You can contact me via my Google Voice number, 864-209-1441. You can contact me via SpeakPipe at www.speakpipe.com/phantom thoughts. You can contact me on Discord, The Pink Phantom. All this contact information is listed in the show notes of every episode. And thank you for those who call in. Thank you for those who don't call in. I appreciate you listening and hope you'll listen again next time. Until then, I hope you have a great day.